The cultural and linguistic diversity of Australia's population has been shaped by historical events and policies in Australia and other parts of the world. In particular, successive waves of migration since World War II have contributed to make up the overseas-born population in Australia. In Australia, it's been discovered that 1 in 5 people spoke a language or languages other than English, as well as more than a quarter of Australians are born overseas, according to the 2011 census. Also adding to this is our Indigenous population, who also aren't proficient in English. In Australia, this population are known as English as Additional Language or Dialect, which is abbreviated as EAL/D. EAL/D students vary depending on their cultural heritage, history, economic social status, and their beliefs in making each group unique. This brings many challenges for teachers and students for inclusion and acceptance, such as deficient discourse, bullying, isolation, classroom management, behavioural issues, attendance, and more. Mr. O'Connor had commenced his first year at a local public high school, where the students consisted of a diverse range of cultural, socio-economic, and non-English speaking backgrounds. Upon his first day of teaching, Mr. O'Connor had noticed that one of his students, Akma, was of Aboriginal background, had very limited English and was quite isolated to his classmates, as well as disengaged in the classroom. As weeks passed, it became evident that Akma was at the beginning English phase of English as Additional Language and Dialect according to the Australian Curriculum, Assessment and Reporting Authority from 2011. Students at the beginning English phase are new to developing any understanding of English, as they have no consistent education setting. This usually places them at a huge disadvantage, as they are fluent in speaking in dialect other than English. However, they have no knowledge on print literacy. Whilst becoming concerned that Akma is at a stage of development of English, what was even more worrying is that there are no more appropriate teaching strategies in place to help these students, not just Akma. Mr. O'Connor started to become aware of the deficient discourse around the school, which is defined as teachers allowing stereotyped views of students' background, socio-economic status, English-speaking abilities to predetermine how they will achieve in the classroom. Also identifying that the school doesn't endorse any forms of recognition to their cultural background or learning strategies in the classroom. To be an effective teacher with the ability to reach syllabus outcomes, it is paramount that you know your way around the classroom and know your students, as well as what teaching methods you're going to use. With the understanding that teaching all ranges of students can be challenging, by incorporating cultural heritage and knowledge into our lessons, it will bring a more exciting, innovative environment to the classroom, whereby the children will participate in lessons that relate to their interests, strengths, and beliefs. The 8 ways of learning is a great way of incorporating different cultural experiences in learning outcomes. This Aboriginal pedagogy framework is expressed as 8 interconnected pedagogies involving narrative-driven learning, visual learning processes, hands-on reflective techniques, use of symbols and metaphors, land-based learning, indirect synergistic logic, modelled, scaffolded, and connectedness to the community. By incorporating teaching pedagogies such as the 8 ways, it creates a positive classroom environment whereby the students feel culturally safe and without any fear of rejection, but feel encouraged, respected, and diversity is welcomed. By incorporating students' backgrounds and beliefs into our teaching strategies, we also allow for English-speaking students to experience different cultural experiences, as well as how it must feel to be someone like Akma. Vygotsky explores the theory of how we can close the learning gap on EAL/D learners by allowing them to self-learn in conjunction with a more skilled expert, meaning that in pairing children in a group activity, the children are able to perform better than when they are alone. Therefore, by including EAL/D learners in a task, they will enable them to learn new ways of using language faster than trying alone. Also, to help implement teaching strategies and eliminate exclusion are documents and practices such as the United Nations General Assembly, which showcase articles within the Convention of the Rights of the Child that explain every child has the right to an education, to relax, to play, and engage in leisureable activities. All children, no matter their cultural abilities or disabilities, will be supported in educational programs, as well as the disability standards for education and the guidelines detailed throughout the national curriculum explores that every child, with or without a disability, will have access to the Australian curriculum through age, interest, and ability-appropriate learning programs. With the help of teaching staff and incorporating the right framework and pedagogy practices, ACMA and his classmates will be able to reach curriculum standards, as well as eliminate exclusion for EAL/D students, enabling all students the chance to explore different cultural histories and experience promoting a more multi-level teaching environment.